Hello everybody, in today's guitar lesson I'm going to teach you the chords and a strumming pattern for Bob Dylan's A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. Now this is a typical Dylan song in a lot of ways. It's obviously got those incredibly powerful lyrics, but also it seems simple in terms of its chords and its musical structure, but actually it's not quite as simple as it seems. Having spent a few days playing with this song and listening to it, I actually think that it's a little bit different from most of the tabs and versions of it that you'll see on the internet, and I'll show you how as we go through the guitar lesson. And we'll start with the chords. A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall is in the key of E major, and we're going to play it with a capo at the 2nd fret. So pop a capo onto the 2nd fret of your guitar to follow along. The first chord in A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall is the chord of D major, relative to the capo of course. But if you go and have a listen to the recorded version of A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall from the Freewheelin album, that's Dylan's second album, you'll hear that the song starts like this. So what Dylan is doing there actually, the very first note he's hitting is not the root note of the D chord, but it's the 5th string, which would be a note of A. Obviously we have a capo on which moves it up, but we're just talking about notes relative to the capo. So he's hitting the 5th string in the bass, a little bit of the 4th string, but he's not hitting the root note, which would be the 4th string. That's a D, right? He's hitting the 5th string. So he's hitting 5th and 4th. Then he's playing in the treble string, so 3, 2, 1. Down, down, up. And then he's hitting those 2 bass strings again, 5th and 4th. And then down, down, up. So you're getting this. Now, after those first 2 bars, if you look at most of the tab versions of the internet, it says he goes to a chord of G, so it's sort of saying he does this. But I don't think that's what he's doing, so I think what he's actually doing is something a bit more like this. So he plays those 2 bars on the D major. Remember, the bass there though is focusing very much on that 5th string, which would be an A. And then after those 2 bars, he's hitting that A string again, and he's hammering his index finger onto the 5th string, the A string, 2nd fret, like that. And then he's keeping his other fingers in the same place, I think. And he's doing the same strumming pattern. Then he's taking his index finger off, putting it back where it would normally go for the D, and playing the same strumming pattern again. So the start of the song, the intro is like this, I think. So then we're into the first line of the singing, and let me play that for you first, and then I'll break it down and explain what I'm doing. It starts on that D chord. Where have you been, my blue-eyed son? Okay, so the first thing to note then is the strumming pattern's the same as the intro, and again, just like the intro, he is focusing on the first down on that 5th string with a bit of the 4th string. So we're inverting the D chord a bit by playing the A in the bass there. Where have you been, and then we're going to do that hammer on from the intro again. So we're hammering the index finger onto the 5th string 2nd fret, and then taking it off again, son. And at the end of that first line, there's another hammer on. It's the same one again, starting from the regular D chord and hammering that index finger onto the 5th string 2nd fret. So, where have you been, my blue-eyed son? Now, I said that this song seems simple, but it's not as simple as it seems. And one example of that is that hammer-on during the first line of the verse on the word blue of Blue-Eyed Son. My blue-eyed son. So a lot of the versions that you'll find tabbed on the internet of this song tell you at that point on the word blue of Blue-Eyed Son that you go to a G major. And if you try that, it's not wrong. It sounds okay. Where have you been, my blue-eyed son? But I think our version is more accurate to what Dylan's playing. Where have you been, my blue-eyed son? Now, when we hammer our finger on there to that 5th string 2nd fret, and we leave our other fingers where they would be for the D major, actually what we're doing there is we're playing an inverted form of a G major 7. It's actually quite a lovely chord. So why are we doing that? Well, if we look at it a little bit technically, then our middle finger there is on the top string 2nd fret relative to the capo, which is an F sharp. And that's the major 7th of the chord of G. Okay? And it's inverted because we're not playing a G in the bass. We're playing the 5th string in the bass, 2nd fret. That's a B. The B belongs in the G chord, but it's not the root. So we're playing an inverted G major 7 there. Rather a lovely chord. So when you first look at tabs, let's say, about A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, you think, yeah, simple song, D major, G major, etc. But it's not quite so simple when you really start listening to it. Okay, so the setting line of the song, Where Have You Been My Darling Young One, is actually a bit simpler. We're going to go from a D major, our D major. Again, we're continuing to sort of play that almost drone-like 5th string, the A and the bass there. And then we're going to go to a normal A major. Where have you been, my darling young one? The next 5 lines of the song, so the ones that start, I've stumbled on the side of 12 misty mountains, I've walked and I've crawled on 6 crooked highways, and so on. They all use the same chord progression. Again, there's some interesting chords in there, only 3 of them, but I'll show you them in a second. Let me play it for you first, and then I'll break it down for you. I've stumbled on the side of 12 misty mountains, I've walked and I've crawled on 6 crooked highways. Let me break that down for you then. Okay then, let's start with looking at the chords. So the first chord is this one. Now that is a form of G. Obviously again we've got a capo at 2, but we're talking relative to the capo. That's a form of G major. If I were to do a bar G major, it would look like this. And what I'm doing there is actually, I'm just taking the top 3 notes, so the notes on the top 3 strings, there they are from that bar G major, and I'm also playing the 4th string, which is a D. That's the open 4th string, so the note of D. So that's the first chord. And you're going to play 2 bars on that chord. And the next chord is actually a form of A major, and to get that to that form of A major, you're going to slide the G major up 2 frets like this, and that takes you to the A major. Now, it's a sort of A major. The top 3 notes are all taken from A major, but of course you've also got that open D there, which is not an A major chord. That's the 4th of A, so it's sort of a suspended 4th, but it's unusual to play that in the bass. So we've got 2 bars on the kind of G chord, and then 1 bar actually on the kind of A chord. And actually, as you might notice there, you're going to slide up from one to the other. So you're playing down, 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 up, down, down, and then on the next down, which is the first beat of the next bar, that's where you do the slide up to the A major. So you have this. And then we go to the D major, the normal D major again. We're going to hit the A, 5th string and the bass there, and we're going to play 4 bars on that D major. And that pattern keeps on repeating. 2 bars on the G, 1 bar on the A, 4 bars on the D. And that takes you through those 5 lines, starting I've stumbled on the side of 12 misty mountains. I'll teach you the refrain to A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall in just a moment or two. But before I do that, I just wanted to say, if you've been enjoying this lesson, please do hit the like button. And also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe, because then you'll be notified about all of the future videos that I release. Okay, let's look at the refrain part of the song now then. I'll play it for you first and then I'll talk you through it. It's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard rain, it's gonna fall. Okay then, so this part is a little bit easier. It starts on our D chord. It's a hard, it's a, then we go to A major, hard, back to D major, it's a hard, it's a, now at this point most of the tabbed chord charts on the internet will tell you go to a G major, but we're going to go to our inverted G major 7th by hammering our index finger onto the 5th string 2nd fret. It's a hard, back to the D major, it's a hard rain, then to A major, it's gonna, then back to D major again, fall.